So today we're going to look at the difference quotient. So some of you might even ask, what is a difference quotient? So a difference quotient is the measure of the average rate of change of a function over an interval. In this case, the interval is going to be an arbitrary length h. So really, the average rate of change just represents the slope. So we're going to find the slope of a function over a specific interval. It's given by this quotient here. So we're going to take f of x plus h minus f of x, and then we're going to divide it all by h. So it looks kind of intimidating, but we're going to break it apart into little pieces, and then it gets a little bit easier. So we're going to find the difference quotient of the following. F of x equals 3x minus 5. So the first thing we need to find is the f of x plus h. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the function f, and anytime we see an x, we're going to replace it with x plus h. So f of x plus h equals, so we're going to start with a 3, it's just going to come straight down. And then instead of writing the x, we're going to put x plus h in parentheses. And then the minus 5 gets brought down. So this is what changes here. Just the x changes to x plus h. Then we're going to take a minute and we're going to simplify that. So 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times h is 3h. Bring down the minus 5. So f of x plus h equals 3x plus 3h minus 5. Now, when we look, that piece is going to end up right here. So in our fraction, we're going to have 3x plus 3h minus 5. That's first. Then we need a minus sign. That minus sign's coming down here from this formula. And then we need f of x. Well, f of x is actually the information that we were given earlier. So it's just this piece right here, the 3x minus 5. And then that's all going to get divided by h. So we've put our 3 little pieces together, and now we just need to simplify. Well, in order to simplify, the first thing I want to do is get rid of that nasty negative. So we're going to distribute this negative first. That's going to give us 3x plus 3h minus 5. Comes down. Negative 1 times 3x is going to give us negative 3x. And then negative 1 times negative 5 is going to give us positive 5 here at the end. All still being divided by h. And then I need to go through and combine like terms. Well, when I combine like terms, the 3x and the negative 3x cancel. The negative 5 here and the positive 5 here cancel. And at this point, all I have left is 3h divided by h. Well, the 3 is being multiplied by the h and then divided by h. So actually these h's here can cancel, and the slope would just be 3. So the slope over the interval h is going to be 3. That makes complete sense, because if you look back and think back to algebra 1, if we had y equals 3x minus 5, this number here is the slope. And since that's a linear equation, the slope remains the same throughout the entire interval. But we wanted to start out with an easy problem or an easier problem to work through those steps before we add in more complex problems. So here we've added another difference quotient. We're going to find the difference quotient of x squared plus 3. This one is a parabola. So x squared is a quadratic, forms a parabola when you graph it. So this one here is going to be a little bit more complex. We're again going to start off and find this first piece of information, f of x plus h. So in order to find that, I'm going to start with f of x plus h. I'm going to go to the equation. Anytime I see x, I'm replacing it with x plus h. Just like that right there. And then I'm going to multiply x plus h times x plus h in order to get that x plus h squared. You can jump off to the side, draw yourself a box, x plus h times x plus h. Oh. So that's going to give us x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And then don't forget this plus 3 comes down at the end. So this right here is something that you'll do on a lot of problems. So sometimes I have students just write it out to the side that x plus h squared equals x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Just so you're not having to box it over and over and over again, because we are actually going to do this on a lot of problems today in preparation for the final exam. All right, so we found f of x plus h. So we found this first piece right here. We need to jump to our fraction. We're going to have x squared plus 2x h plus h squared plus 3. That's f of x plus h. Then we need to subtract f of x. Well, f of x is just x squared plus 3. And then we're going to divide it all by h. So our two pieces go on top, f of x plus h, and then minus f of x, the original, and then it all gets divided by h. Just like the last problem, we're going to start off and distribute that negative. So it's going to give us minus x squared minus 3, still all divided by h. When I go to combine like terms, I'm going to have x squared and x squared canceling. I'm going to have 3 and negative 3 canceling. So now I have 2xh plus h squared divided by h. So as you probably heard, there are a lot of h's in this problem. So I'm going to look and see if I can factor out an h. In this case, I can factor out an h from the top from both terms. So if I factor an h out of 2xh, that just leaves me with 2x. If I factor an h out of h squared, I still have an h. And now looking at this, we're allowed to cancel the h in the numerator with the h in the denominator, leaving us with an answer of 2x plus h. And that is our final answer. The next one we have another quadratic. This quadratic has all 3 terms, so it's going to be a little bit more complex than the last one even. So working our way up there. Again, we're always starting off and finding this x plus f of x plus h first. So again, that just means anytime I look at the original and I find an x, I'm replacing, in this case, both of those with x plus h. So the 3 gets brought down, then I have x plus h squared minus 5. X gets replaced with x plus h, and then the plus 7 at the end. So for this one here, we did just discuss that this part right here, the x plus h squared equals x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, right? We could, by all means, box that in together again, but we just finished that. We don't need to do it again. So I'm just going to substitute that in there for the x plus h squared. I'm going to go ahead and distribute this -5 into my parentheses. So minus 5x minus 5h. The plus 7 gets brought down. Got one more step I need to do to simplify here. In order to simplify, I need to get rid of my parentheses, which means I'm going to distribute. So now I have 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared, and then everything else is going to come down. Looks kind of intimidating because it is 6 terms, but so far we've done everything correctly. That is f of x plus h. So now we still need to do this part over here. So we need to take what we just got, subtract f of x from it, and then divide it all by h. So I'm going to jump over here to the side, and we're going to do that right here. So it takes a little bit of writing here. Just take your time, make sure you're getting every term counted for. And then we're going to go through and distribute this negative here. If you're feeling confident, you want to do that earlier, that's okay. I have students who work on it within the line here. That's also fine as well. As long as you're showing your work and you know what you're doing, you're confident in what you're doing. If not, reach out to me. My phone number is posted on Google Classroom for those of you who have me as a teacher. So when we distribute that, we're now going to have a minus 3x squared here, a plus 5x, and a minus 7. Oops. All right, so there's the entire thing. Again, we want to, just like on the last problem, go through and combine like terms. Hopefully things will cancel. So here we have a 3x squared and a negative 3x squared. We have a 5x and a negative 5x. We have a positive 7 and we have a negative 7. So once we do that, we've actually eliminated 6 terms from the numerator here. It's going to look a lot better now. So if I go across the top, I now have 6x h plus 3h squared minus 5h, all divided by h. And at this point, we have all the terms in the numerator with a common factor of h. So we're going to factor an h out. That's going to leave us with 6x plus 3h minus 5, all divided by h. And just like the last example here, we have multiplication with this h, division with this h. We can cancel those two out to get our final answer of 6x plus 3h minus 5. So our difference quotient for that problem there is 6x plus 3h minus 5. At this point, I would like you to pause the video and find the difference quotient of this parabola here. All right, so hopefully you have already found your difference quotient. So we're going to work through this one here. Going to probably go a little faster than the last one because you should already have this completed. So starting out with f of x plus h. We're going to have 2 times x plus h squared minus x plus h, don't forget your parentheses, plus 8. Then we're going to substitute this part out for what we already know that it equals. So that's going to be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. We're going to distribute that negative there 2 times. So we're going to have minus x minus h plus 8. We're going to distribute the 2 now. It's going to give us 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus x minus h plus 8. And that right there on that bottom line is what f of x plus h equals. That is the beginning part right here. So we're going to go off to the side and work this problem out. We're going to start with the information that we just had. So 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus x minus h plus 8 minus f of x. F of x is 2x squared minus x plus 8. Again, make sure you're using your parentheses there because our next step is going to be to distribute this negative. Excuse me. So when we distribute that negative there, this first part's not going to change. Still 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus x minus h plus 8. Now we're going to have minus 2x squared plus x minus 8 all divided by h. Hopefully we'll have some things that cancel here. We have a 2x squared and a negative 2x squared. We have a minus x and a plus 8 and a minus 8. So we've canceled out again 6 terms. That leaves us with 4xh plus 2h squared minus h all divided by h. And again, just like on the last one, we're going to factor out an h from the numerator. So 4x plus 2h minus 1. Don't forget that placeholder of 1. All divided by h. We're multiplying by h and we're dividing by h. So we're going to cancel both of those out. That's going to give us 4x plus 2h minus 1. And that right there is our final answer.